Divorce mediation is likely going to be a part of your Texas divorce or custody modification case. It's not separate than your divorce, it's one step along the journey. So, most cases in Texas settle at mediation and don't ever have to go to court. And mediation is a process where you and the person you're divorcing, along with your lawyers, if you have them, meet to try to resolve your case amicably without having to get a court or a judge to intervene. Mediation may be mandatory in your Texas divorce case. It really depends on what's called the local rules in your specific court in your specific county. A lot of counties, and most in fact, especially if there are children involved, require that you go to mediation before you go to a final trial. And this makes sense. If there's any chance that you people can work this out on your own and not drag your kids and your family through the mud or take up a lot of the court's time, the court wants you to do that. And I think it's great that local rules require mediation. Because if I had $1 for every time somebody said that this case will never settle at mediation, and then it did settle at mediation, I would have quite a few dollars. Arbitration is an alternative dispute resolution mechanism that's becoming more and more popular in Texas divorce cases. And it's sort of like mediation and it's sort of like court. What happens is both parties have to agree. So you and the person you're divorcing, your opposing party, say, we can't agree at mediation on the terms of our divorce, but we don't really want to go to court for God and everybody to see and make a public record. Or maybe in your county, neither one of you want the judge to decide what happens in your life. So you can agree to go to arbitration. And there it's where you narrow the issues for someone to consider, usually a retired judge, private judge, or really, really experienced Texas family lawyer. And you'll present the issues to them just like you would in court. You make an argument about who should have primary of the kids. You may present some evidence with relaxed Texas rules of civil procedure standards. And then you agree that the arbitrator can make the final decision about what happens on the issues about custody and asset division that you and your spouse cannot agree to. And then their decision is binding and final. For instance, if you've ever watched Judge Judy on television, those are arbitrations where these two parties have agreed to present their issues to Judge Judy in her character, and she makes a final decision. As I understand it, those are actually binding arbitrated decisions where Judge Judy is acting like an arbitrator to these people's disputes. Now, don't expect your arbitrator in your Texas divorce to be as cute and funny as Judge Judy or to bound the table in the same way. Another alternative dispute resolution option for you in your Texas divorce case is collaborative divorce. And when I say collaborative divorce, I'm talking about capital C collaborative, not little c collaborative. At Hembree Bell Law, where we in Austin, Texas help families in their marriage as well, all of our divorces are little c collaborative. And that means we try to get along, we try to be reasonable. What I'm talking about is something different. It's a function of the Texas Family Code, whereby people can not ever have to go to court. They can have their proceedings private. They share experts and potentially even save money and time to resolve their matters outside of court. The catch is, if for some reason they hit a wall or they get to a stalemate in their collaborative divorce case and decide they need to go back and go to regular court, both parties lose their lawyers and have to begin again with new counsel. So if you're considering a collaborative divorce with a capital C in Texas, you want to consider your options carefully and talk them through with your lawyer to see whether it's a right fit for you and your family in your Texas divorce case. Did you know that your divorce can be resolved via mediation without ever setting foot in the courtroom? And in fact, that's the most likely outcome in your Texas divorce or custody case. The overwhelming majority of cases never make it to final trial or to a courtroom at all. You're most likely to settle your issues regarding custody, child support, asset division, retirement accounts, all of that at mediation without ever setting foot in a courtroom.